Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, depending where you're listening. And Francois, I'm glad you got my intro working because I was preparing to sing it myself. But when it comes to singing and dancing, I've been told I've got the face for radio and the voice for print media. So I'm glad we didn't have to put anyone through that. But yes, let's talk about the importance of recognizing and letting go of bottlenecks. So business owners often hold on to inefficient systems and processes because they are familiar and comfortable, even if they aren't effective. I've used this story before, which I got from a book called Traction. An entrepreneur slips and falls off a cliff. On his way down, he manages to grab onto a vine. He's hanging there 1,000 feet from the top and 1,000 feet from the bottom. His situation seems hopeless. He looks up in the clouds and decides for the first time to pray. Is anybody up there? He asks. After a long silence, a deep voice bellows down from the clouds. Do you believe? Yes, replies the entrepreneur. Then let go of the vine, says the voice. The entrepreneur pauses for a second, looks up again, and finally responds, is there anybody else up there? And this is the issue with outdated, clunky processes. They create friction in the workflow, slow down growth, and eventually lead out to burnout for employees and dissatisfaction for clients. So why does letting go matter? Firstly, scalability. Bottlenecks limit your ability to scale. As your business grows, inefficient systems and processes will slow things down more. Identifying and removing these bottlenecks will ensure that your business can grow smoothly without outgrowing your current capabilities. The second one is client experience. A smooth, fast process builds trust with clients. If they experience long delays, poor communication, or frustration, it can harm your reputation and reduce retention rates. Streamlining your bottlenecks allows you to deliver an excellent client experience, leading to stronger relationships and more referrals. And the last one is your team productivity and morale. When your team spends too much time dealing with inefficiencies, doing rework, it leads to burnout and frustration. Removing the bottlenecks gives your team the freedom to focus on what matters most, providing high-value service to clients and growing the business. Some of the common bottlenecks that we've observed in our work with clients comes from the first one, the client onboarding. A slow, cumbersome process can turn clients away. The harder you make it to bring a client on board, the less likely they are going to engage with your process, and the less likely it is going to be sufficient. You need to look at streamlining your client onboarding process, using things like digital forms, automated scheduling, and yes, Razan, videos, communication through those tools that speed up the experience. Do you have a client portal for document sharing? How much of your meeting time is spent gathering information and how much of it is spent analyzing the information that you already have so you can have deeper, more meaningful relationships with your clients? A lack of standardization. So while we know that hyper-personalization is very key in financial services when dealing and providing feedback to our clients, what should happen in the background should be highly standardized. So inconsistent procedures can lead to confusions and delays. So make sure your processes are standardized. Yes, the outcome must be personalized to the client, but create those standard operating procedures, documented. Not only does it help you deliver a faster and better service to your clients, but it also helps with onboarding new advisors and new staff into the business because you've already got something that you can talk to them and train them on very easily and quickly. The last one is regulatory compliance and reporting. And many of the frustrations we speak to with business owners is the regulatory burden. It is complex. We are regulated quite heavily. And we know that somewhere down the line, the conduct of business report is coming. Okay, and I say somewhere down the line because we've been speaking about it for quite some time now. But have you considered the data that is required in that conduct of business report? Have you looked and followed the process where it is? And instead of looking at it as a regulatory requirement, considered how that information can actually be used in your business and how to gather, track, and report on that. So a very simple process for adopting and looking at bottlenecks is the first one. If you've got to identify and evaluate. So regularly review your processes from client onboarding to service delivery. Identify which areas are slow, frustrating, or prone to errors. Often what is on the surface is just a symptom. You need to dig deeper because the real issue normally lies a few layers below. Use technology. Okay, look at the tools that you use that can help you automate the repetitive tasks. This frees up your time so you can spend more time with deepening client relationships, and it improves efficiency. Train and delegate. Okay, ensure your team has the skills and the support they need to handle tasks efficiently. Empower them to take ownership of tasks rather than bottlenecking the decision at the top. And then implement and improve. I'd love to say that this is a simple process of being a one and done. But like financial planning, process improvement is a continuous process. So you put it in, you evaluate what you've done, and you continually look at new ways of ensuring it's right. By recognizing and addressing bottlenecks, you can create a business that operates at peak efficiency and ready for sustainable growth. Removing what holds your business back is not just about letting go of outdated systems, it's about innovation and progress. And as my final thought, your Braai fact, and I found one that works quite nicely in terms of this theme, banging your head against the wall for 1 hour burns about 150 calories. So those frustrations you've got, there are some benefits to it. But if you're not really that keen on losing brain cells, skip this calorie burning route. Rather take your dog for a walk for 45 minutes or spend 53 minutes doing a fast-paced walk that burns about the same of calories and keeps your brain cells intact to grow your business. So thank you, Francois. Back to you in the studio.